Hey guys, in this speed build, I'm building a huge family home on a 64 by 64 lot. It's really big, so if you have a big sim family or if you're planning to build your legacy, you are going to have enough space in this home. When I started to build, I felt that it was roughly inspired by traditional American architecture in a way, but then it went into a completely different direction. I did not have a specific architectural style in mind when I started building and just had some fun with it. The outside, as you are going to see, is a beautiful vibrant blue, and I decided to use a red roof and little red accents, so I have this beautiful contrast between cool and warm tones. I really like that. I also used a lot of white, and that's basically it when it comes to the color scheme. I tried to keep it very simple so it's not too overwhelming. As you will see, there's a lot going on the outside. I used so many flowers. I want to make it beautiful and romantic, the perfect romantic family home. And I went crazy with the flowers. You can see how I'm building the actual shape of the house here. The centerpiece is diagonal, and this is where the kitchen and the living room and the dining room area is going to be. There's also another living room. There's enough space. The blue that I'm using on the outside here came with the Spa Day pack. The game has its own section for wood paneling that you are supposed to use on the outside. Of course, you can use it anywhere for anything, but there is a own section. But I did not like any of the colors for this specific build because the blue, for example, looks more like a gray, and I wanted a very beautiful, vibrant, popping blue. So I was looking for the right color choice here, and it was always important for me that it's wood because I don't like to put something on the outside that doesn't really look like something that you would use on a facade. So I was looking for wood, and I think that this works just fine. Here you see how I'm working on the basement. I love to work with multiple levels to create some landscaping, and the tower extends to the bottom, and at the bottom of the tower there's going to be a gym. I think that's really cool because I think a gym doesn't really fit into a very traditional home always. I mean, it depends on how you're building the home, but I think the basement is just the perfect place. And here I'm building a little patio, and I used fences to create a roof, and as you will see, I'm going to add some flowers so it looks like vines are growing above the fence, above the wood. I want to make it look natural and cozy and romantic. And I also added a pool, which is always cool. I mean, for such a huge home, your Sims have to be quite rich to live in a house this big. That's just how the game is, and I think a pool is just a must for most builds, at least a small little cute pool. And here I'm going crazy with the flowers. I think that these came with the romantic garden pack. I really love this pack. So many beautiful little things for the outside. I sized them up and just decorated the patio area, and him adding more little details to just make it. I think it's all in the detail in my opinion. When a build looked really cool, it's mostly it's all in the detail. Details matter. When you add a build can look great, but once you add all your little details and really work on it, then it's starting to look cool in my opinion. I just love this. I love to use many details. And yeah, this is the dormer that came with the vampire pack. It seems like a weird choice because it's not a vampire build at all, or Victorian or something, but I chose the white dormer, and I think it doesn't look like a Victorian or vampire item at all in this combination. And I also used the white flowers. I did not want to use too many other colors on the outside. And here I'm building a cascading patch. I wanted to create something special for the bottom basement area, so I thought, why not having a cascading patch? I love these kind of patches in real life, and I tried to recreate them. I used the wall decorations that came with the Jungle Adventure pack, and I simply sized them up and elevated them to create multiple steps. And now I'm just using all kinds of different flowers and bushes to make it look beautiful. Yeah, I think it turned out great. And I'm also using some stones just to make it look more natural. this is the only area where I did a lot of landscaping, really. As you will see, I used a lot of the rocks to hide the edge of the wall. This way it doesn't look like a hole in the floor and that's it, but more natural, with a natural slope created with rocks. And these red rocks work really well with the whole concept, in my opinion. The gray ones would have been too cool toned. And these just support this whole contrast thing that I mentioned multiple times now between cool and warm tones, and these are just beautiful. As always, I sized them up. I also rotate them because you only have 5 different stones, and this way you hide this fact basically, because it can look really boring when you can see that it's always the same pattern, always the same shape of rocks. And here I am using the same method that I used before, just a little differently. I simply sized up the one in the back more than the one in the front, because when you are elevating objects in the game, what you can do with 9 and 0, then they float in the air. You can't stack objects, they simply float. And the problem is when there's no foundation underneath, they just drop. Someone was nice enough to let me know this, and I actually fixed my very first build. I built some stone columns and there was no foundation underneath, and yeah, then when you place the lot, they just come crashing down, and I learned my lesson. It's not happening anymore. But yeah, this is why I did not elevate them. You can elevate really anything as long as it's above a foundation. Just keep this in mind if you want to be creative with it and have some fun and scale things up and elevate them. Always make sure that there is a foundation underneath. That's all you need. And if you are unsure if it's working, simply place the lot once. That's what I'm doing before I'm uploading my lots to the gallery. I always place them and make sure that nothing crashed. If something crashed down, I simply fix it, so when I upload it to the gallery, it's all fine. Yeah, so it doesn't happen again. Yeah, and here I was not sure which floor to use on the outside. That's always a little bit tricky. I'm using some bushes to hide the edge of the foundation and just adding little details. Another little cute patch that at first I wanted to use a fence, but then I thought no, just use rocks because it looks more natural and just goes with the theme. There's not really much lawn on this lot because I built a lot of patios and the building itself is quite big, and at the moment you see some lawn in the front, but that's going to change because, as you will see, I'm going to build a gateway. But when I'm building like this and when there's not much lawn, basically I love to add multiple patches and enough flowers and trees to make it look like a garden, green and beautiful, and just not too barren. You don't want to have stone and wood everywhere. You want some patches and some flowers and some trees for a build like this, I think. And yeah, here I'm working on the patio area. It seems we could have a pool party there. Also, as you may have noticed, or maybe you haven't, finally there's decent audio. I used to record the audio with my headset, which wasn't perfect. And yeah, sorry for anyone that had to endure the horrible headset audio, but now I have a proper mic, so I hope that it's a little bit more pleasant to listen to the voiceover for anyone who likes to do that. Yeah, I think it can be very annoying to listen to bad audio, so yeah, thank you to anyone who really listened to that. Yeah, but I did my best, and I'm still new to this, the whole voiceover thing, making videos. I'm just doing my best, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. And thank you for anyone who subscribed and who comments and who gives feedback, and no matter what kind of feedback, positive, negative, constructive criticism is always great. So if you want to let me know something that I should do different or better, or just something that you like, always leave a comment and I will get back to you, and I always appreciate this. And yeah, I've been doing this for a month now, and it's been a wild ride, honestly, and so much fun, and I'm really thankful for anyone who's watching this. Really, it's just so much fun and great, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you. And here I'm working on the interior. It was a little bit tricky. I did not want to use too much blue on the inside, meaning that I did not want to use the same theme that I developed on the outside on the inside. I wanted to make it look cozy and natural, maybe like a cottage even. I wanted to use a lot of white colors, browns, natural colors. I'm not saying that it looks like a cottage, because it doesn't at all. This was just my initial feeling, inspiration to make it look a little bit traditional and not really, but maybe almost inspired by shabby chic without it being shabby chic. But I think you get what I mean. I just wanted to look very romantic and traditional, not modern or something. It was tricky because it's a huge lot and you have to fill these open spaces. I mean, you can't just create 20 rooms or something. So I'm building a huge kitchen here, which I always love. I love these big open kitchens. These are American style kitchens because they have a open concept, and you have the kitchen counter in the middle, the kitchen island. I really love this. And this kitchen, the counters, they came with the Parenthood pack, and this is one of my favorite items out of the whole game. When I bought Parenthood, I was like, whoa, this kitchen is just stunning, and I did not expect this. You never know what to expect with the kind of packs and which direction they are going, but this kitchen is just so beautiful. I also love it in the blue color. I really love it. I think in one of my future builds I'm going to use the blue kitchen, but here I decided to go with the white and the brown to stay in the color scheme on the inside that I thought of. I created multiple living rooms. This is just a area where your Sims can chill in front of the chimney and maybe read. The other living room is going to have a TV. I like to separate this. For big homes, just like in real life, there is a front room and a living room, just different areas. Mostly one area where you would invite your guests to, and another area which is like personal space where you just chill in front of the TV. And I love to do this to fill the space and to make it look like a mansion, to make it look luxury and beautiful, because this is how houses like this usually look. This is a small office space, something that any Sims house needs, really, as long as you have the space. Otherwise, I mean, when I don't have space and money in the Sims, I simply put the computer, as soon as I can afford it, on the kitchen table. When I'm playing without cheats, I just stop building, and as soon as I can afford the computer, is going there. No money for a office. And yeah, here I'm laying out the hallway. It's a big hallway. I'm going to extend it in a few seconds, as you will see. At first I wanted it to be just this one narrow room, but then I made it bigger because I had to add stairs, and these can only be placed diagonal in relation to the building, because actually the building is diagonal on the lot and you cannot place stairs diagonal, but because the building is diagonal, it makes it look as if the stairs are out of place and not the building. But I think it turned out cool because you have this little cute reading area behind the stairs, which is cool. And this is the TV room. I'm going to change up some of the things later, as you're going to see. I wasn't sure on the color scheme, and I also changed the color of the walls to a light white and blue to make it look more friendly, because it was quite dark, especially with the kind of lamps that I decided to use. And here's another area. This area on the left side is going to be another, there's going to be a chimney. And I really love how this bathroom turned out. You see the tower in the back, and I just put the bathtub right in the center. And these little tables came with Dine out, and I love to just place them next to each other. It looks so cool, and I'm placing some candles around it I mean, just imagine chilling in this bathtub. You have all these candles around you, and you're in this beautiful tower and have a view technically. This is cool. I really love this kind of shape when you combine them with the normal room. It looks so bump, and as you are going to see, there's going to be a painting area in the part of the tower on the floor above. I think it's so cool. Yeah, I'm adding more details on the outside. You can never have enough details. Okay, you can have enough details. It can look too much, but I felt that something was missing. And yeah, I'm just combining different things. I really like the combination of this carpet and the sofa. It looks beautiful. Adding some little details, some little clutter to make it look more realistic. Which is, I think this is the hardest without CC. When you're used to playing with CC, I think the interior can be the hardest. Not the outside, that's not the problem, but when you're to use a lot of CC clutter, that's a different kind of challenge. This seating area, the sofa and the armchair, these came with the perfect patio pack, I think. I also used the little tables that came with it on the back, as you are going to see. And this is the hallway, and I'm just jumping all over the place and decorating this area. Usually when I'm building something, I already have the next project in mind, because whenever I'm creating something, it kind of inspires me to do something else. I also love to draw, and while I'm drawing, I develop new ideas, basically. And when I was building this, I felt like building a autumn-inspired home, a beautiful autumn home, and I'm going to do this because it's my favorite season. I just love autumn. I don't know if it's going to be my next speed build or the one after that, but I felt inspired, and then I left the house yesterday, and it was so hot. It's crazy. I really felt like autumn, and I'm looking forward so much to Halloween. I already said this when I was building the vampire mansion, that I just felt like Halloween, even though it's too early. I mean, autumn is right around the corner now, but it's still summer. And then it was so hot, and it felt like summer. It's so crazy. I went to the dentist, and the lady was like, yeah, it's so nice. The weather is so beautiful. It feels like summer. I was like, yeah. I'm not really a summer person. I mean, I enjoy good weather, but it's time for autumn now. I just think it's so beautiful when the color of the leaves change and the sun is shining. Just a beautiful, lovely autumn. Not the kind of autumn that just comes with a lot of fog and rain and clouds. Not really into that, but yeah, I'm looking forward to a beautiful autumn. Maybe the fact that it's still so warm here is just like a good sign. Maybe it just means that we're going to have a wonderful autumn for a few weeks. I don't know, but I'm already looking forward to that. And especially Halloween. Let me know what you think about Halloween. Are you a Halloween type of person, or Christmas? Are you looking forward to holidays like this and Thanksgiving and all this kind of stuff? What do you think about this? I mean, we don't have Thanksgiving here in Germany, unfortunately, because it looks so cool. Whenever I see it on TV shows and movies, it just looks so wonderful. And the pumpkin pie, I love pumpkin pie. I bake pumpkin pie every year in autumn with the American recipe. And yeah, your pumpkin pie is just the bomb, really. It's so great. And whenever I see this, it looks like the coolest holiday ever. Maybe because I'm a autumn person, as I said, but it looks so cool. And yeah, really nice. Here I'm building the ensuite. It's the master bedroom with a bathroom attached, and here I actually used some of the blue, the kind of blue that I used on the outside, not the same wood paneling or something. Yeah, here I felt a little bit inspired and got carried away with the blue, but just for this room. And I used some of the counters, the blue counters that I mentioned, that I'm planning to use in the kitchen for one of my future builds. I used these for the bathroom. When I'm building multiple bathrooms on one floor, I really love to just stick to one kind of furniture, and I'm using the same kind of counter over and over again, for example, because I feel it just looks too busy and not really good if you are building every bathroom differently. I just don't like it. I think it's not really pleasing to the eye. So I used the blue counters for every bathroom on this floor. And here I'm building the kids or teenager room. I built one that is a typical cliche female room and one room for a boy, as you are going to see. I really love how this room turned out. I used a lot of clutter and even added a fireplace, because I think for a very huge room like this, I mean the whole house is basically a mansion, so why not going a little bit overboard on the kids room as well. I used 2 different kinds of colors for the walls, and I did the same for the boys room, but I picked blue and green instead and used the same flowers in blue and green. I think these turned out really cute. The carpet has some pink in it, but I really love this carpet. I think it's unique. And fish tank, I did not add any of the rodents that came with the I forgot what the name was, the pack that they released additionally to the cats and dog pack, the one that had the hamsters. I did not use any of this stuff. I know it's the most controversial pack. I have all of them, but I know that some people don't really like the pack, so I try to stay away from this. So you can download and use the lot if you want to. But I think it's really cute that they added some of the hamsters. They should have probably just came with the cats and dog pack by default, and should have not been released in a different kind of pack, but oh well, what can we do? I'm just curious right now what's going to be released next. I know that anyone is waiting on some news about this, and I'm just curious. I'm at the edge of my seat, really. I want to know what's going to come. Is it going to be a stuff pack, or is it going to be an expansion pack? Yeah, I don't know. What kind of building style is it going to be? Because obviously I love to build, but what gameplay aspects is going to add? I'm really excited. And here just added some green vines on top of the patio to make it look like something is growing there, and adding some details. And here I'm starting to building the gate that I mentioned before. I felt like the front section was too empty, and I wanted to use more flowers to make it go well together. And here I'm building exactly this, a gate. I used the same kind of fences that I used for the patio on the same system, and I decided to go with a foundation because, as I mentioned before, you cannot elevate objects. These would come crashing down if there was no foundation underneath, so I had to use a foundation and stairs. I think it looks cool because that makes it look more like an actual gate area. It actually divides the front section from the back section, and just rearranging some things. The 2 areas that I wanted to make like patches, basically just some flowers and stuff, I opened them up and added a swing set and just playground objects, so yeah, kids can use the garden. And this is the gym. Yeah, I used the same floor that I used on the outside, just so it looks the same on the inside as on the outside. I wanted to make it I didn't want to make it modern or something. I really want to make it go together with the outside area. I love to do that. I did this before in my Hollow Manor build. And this is it again. I included screenshots of the house, of the outside and the interior, and also floor plans, so you get an overview. And I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, please subscribe and like. And as I said, if you have any kind of feedback, just leave a comment. I'd just love to read your feedback. And I hope I see you next time. Bye bye.